CVA's AccuraSeries, Agara barrels for guaranteed accuracy, nitride for guaranteed rust proofing, and a rifle guaranteed to be the best muzzleloader you've ever shot. CVA, it's just a better gun.
This segment's being sponsored by JLB Sportsman, custom woodworking and laser engraving. Located right here in Leoma, Tennessee, give owner Jim Brewer a call at 931-213-1455. All right, everybody, this segment's being sponsored by Courtney's Restaurant and Catering. You can find them at 4066B North Mount Juliet Road, right there in Mount Juliet, Tennessee. Give them a call for all your catering needs as well, 615-754-7548. All right, now we've gotten as far as shot the deer 55 yards. Didn't realize what really what you had. Did he run at all when you shot him? Or?
No, he when I shot him, he really just about turned to flip. His leg popped up in the air and he didn't budge.
So at least you had a tracking job like I did. That's the best kind of tracking job.
There was a doe with him. She didn't go. I actually thought about shooting the doe,
Yeah.
And I just couldn't bring myself to do it.
But, So you got down there, and then you realize what you got. I mean, how long did it take to really? I mean, I know you knew it was a big deer, but how long before you really realized what you had in your hand?
Well, for the first few minutes, I just sit there and just looked at him before I even picked his rack up. I didn't see this back part at all. And when I picked it up,
even that split. I mean, even the drop tine has a split, guys. I hope you can see that well in there. It's so much character.
And it just that did it. That's when it really hit me how big he was. So.
People go all around the world. I mean, they go all around the United States to kill a big deer.
They do.
And
they don't come home with something like that.
They never do. They never get to see anything like that.
Yeah.
It's amazing.
You really don't. You hear a lot of us, you hear that magic 150 mark. A lot of people talk about 150, and that's a giant deer.
Wonderful deer.
As a matter of fact, it's thrown around too much. Me and Randall say that all the time. They say those numbers way too much. But my point is, you said 150-inch deer inside of this puppy right here.
Right.
And that's what's so incredible. I mean, I know you guys are looking at it, but when you put your hands on this deer, it's 22 inches inside. Is that right?
Real close to it. It's a little under 22.
It's just incredible to think that deer like that are out here on some of these properties. And that's not the only one. Randall and I, we held a couple deer this year that were up in that 160, 170 mark. A couple of those came off some public grounds, a few of them off some real small private grounds. People think, well, I don't have 1,000 acres to hunt and all that. We don't either. I've never, You
remember you talked about the other day, man, 50-acre food plot. If you got 50 or 75 or 100 acres, treat it right, food plot it, the deer will stay.
Yeah, well, and Don already hit on this earlier. This right here, that's your number one tool, as far as growing big deer. He saw a couple nice deer, not to say he might not have shot them and been just tickled to death with them, but the only way to ever see or shoot a deer like that is by managing this right here. And what has happened, this deer, just voluntarily through other people that hunt up there, they've let this deer go until he's attained this size. And whether it's on 10 acres behind in some subdivision, outside of Nashville here, or on 1,500 acres, they're going to get big, and the right ones will grow a big rack like this.
When I lived in Jolton, we had 5 acres. I mean, there was some monster deer. Just as a good crossing area is all it was. But it was a good place to shoot.
It is. I mean, that's all it takes. When you're sitting in that stand, you're typically looking at an acre or two of ground, at the most. So it's not like you've got to have one of these big places. We got a couple of minutes. Who did we have on 2? Let's go ahead and grab a call here. Oh, Christopher, how are you doing tonight? Sorry, we must have lost Christopher. But Christopher hung up. I apologize for missing you there, Chris. We got carried away here talking. So when you get up there to the check station with him, I would imagine that probably caused a buzz, didn't it?
Yeah, a little bit. They all, by then I'd settled down some. All of them were a lot more excited than I was. They couldn't even tell who deer it was, really. But there were people coming around taking pictures from everywhere. One guy was standing back about 50 yards trying to take pictures and game warden hollered for them to come on up, you know.
Yeah.
So it's
Come on up and get
people
one.
were excited.
don't-
They were calling all their friends.
Yeah, you don't see these every day,
Yeah.
even there. These old deer here can get old because they've got places that nobody ever hunts.
That's right.
You know, and they, but you don't see them like this.
You don't. And
Much.
two, it's important to hit that such a small percentage will ever get this big anyway. I mean, that's important to say. Just because a deer gets to 5.5 years old, he's not going to have, he might not have 130 inch rack, you know.
Oh, yeah.
So you got to have, not only has he got to get old enough, he's got to be in that, you know, that 10% or 12% that'll ever get over 150 inches. So it's kind of a lottery deal anyway to ever get one, you know, of this size. He's got to get old enough and have the right genetics to do it. And up there, they have the right nutrition. They have property that they can stay hidden on. And that's the most important thing. So, well, guys, we're going to take another quick break. We'll be right back with some more Southern Woods and Waters.